sharp at times, very good. The problem is this: they cannot get the running game going. Number 9, Matt Walter, is their nominee for the Heck Crichton as CIS Player of the Year. He was Player of the Year in Canada West. Had a fantastic season, but he is not fooling Laval at all today.
Yeah, they actually are a spread type of offense, but they bring in the fullback here and go I-back. You know what? We talked about it. What line's going to control it right now? Laval, they know Calgary's going to have to throw the ball, get back in the game, so they're going to tee it up and come after poor Duke Jr. right now.
Etienne Legade and that D-line for Laval licking their chops. 2nd down and 6. Duke Jr. under center. Play action to Walters. The line has been penetrated, and that was never going to have a chance. 2 guys came in free, and Jr. just had to let it go.
Yeah, we talked about that line and protection, right? Here they come. They have their nickel package in. 6 DBs, but 94. Gilbert comes in free, basically. Duke Jr. does a great job of getting rid of the ball instead of taking a loss, but that's too easy. It's way too easy for these guys.
It has been easy for Laval. 29-zip through 1 quarter. Time for a break. More live from Quebec City after this on The Score.
The home of university sport in Canada is the CIS. From Victoria to St. John's, Canadian inter-university sport is the place to compete in some of the biggest and most televised tournaments in the country. Earn a degree while training in the finest facilities across Canada. Compete in national championships for men and women's basketball, volleyball, hockey, football, and more. The CIS, the experience of a lifetime.
The athletic 09 Mitsubishi Outlander with unbeatable traction to handle the toughest challenges on Earth. Drive at Earth, Mitsubishi Motors.
Stamps and Lions Western final. We picked this one up in the 4th quarter. BC trailing by 4 when Buck Pierce throws the interception to the waiting hands of Brandon Browner. 22-18 would be your final.
Welcome back, everybody, to Quebec City. The road to the Vanier Cup continues right after us with the Mitchell Bowl. We'll head live to London, Ontario and TD Waterhouse Stadium for St. Mary's and Western. That's coming up on The Score later this afternoon. Punt team out again for the Dinos. They are down 29-6. They're in I field, deep in his own end. The kick, not a bad one. Fioli Gadino corrals it at the 50. Up the middle, makes a few more gains. And they will mark him down at the Laval 53-yard line as the Laval Rouge have a really tough act to follow in the 2nd quarter. They were absolutely perfect over the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely were. You know, we talking about the special teams coach before the game at Calgary. They want to directionally punt, get the ball away from guys, but they keep punting to Dino, and I think they need to get strategy changes so that, because this man's twice has almost broken it for 6 points.
You could argue Gadino's worked as hard as anyone today with the receptions he's made and the work on special teams. First down now for that gentleman, Benoit Gros, favored to win the Heck Crichton as Player of the Year next week during Vanier Cup week. The handoff to Sebastien Levesque. Levesque up the middle, that's good enough for a first down, and then some. The speed on this kid is incredible. Let's take a look at the first quarter numbers, and you may not see anything like this again. Brought to you by Desjardins, utter and complete domination.
Yeah, definitely. You look at this, and you look at the passing yards, 166 yards, rushing yards, you know, even. time possession even, but the score, the first downs, Laval has hit it with a big play, right? They average over 515 yards per game on offense.
1st and 10, the handoff. Sebastian Levesque off tackle, eludes the first tackler. He's getting by the first guy now consistently. That is bad news for Calgary. The mark looks good enough for a first down as the Rouge are now going to start to grind this thing out, a little ground and pound, Laval style.
Yeah, that offensive line, that right side of the offensive line does a great job of sealing it. Get Levesque to the outside, right? Here comes the smash and dash we talk about. Here comes the smash part. Cesar Sanchez into the short yardage as well.
So they did not give him that first down. And out comes the backup quarterback, Cesar Hernandez Sanchez. His job will be to fall over graciously. Under center, finds a seam he needs, gets licked there at the end by John Waldy, right half of the Dinos, but gets the yard needed. His job is done. He'll take a seat.
Definitely. You know what? Calgary needs to commit to something. This is a hard hit right here. I didn't think he was going to get up, hit him in the head. But Calgary needs to commit to stopping something. They need to stop the pass and they need to stop the run. They need to stop something and make it a little more one-dimensional because Laval's having their way on offense either way.
The Laval Rouge are #1 offense in the country. Josh McDonald and that Dinos defensive front have quite the task ahead of him because this gentleman, Grew, is feeling it. 1st and 10 inside the Dinos 30. Out wide, it is caught in the flat. Matthew Picard, 3rd-year man from Quebec City. He makes the reception, the slot back, picks up some more yards. That'll set up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that's why, we talk about Benoit Grew, how quickly he gets rid of the ball there. Less than 1 second, pitch and catch basically. He's only been sacked 6 times this year. Reason being he gets rid of the ball quickly. Second, that great O-line of his.
When you give him time, Benoit Grew is going to make you pay. This is his 4th year, and Glenn Constantine loving the maturity that he has seen in Benoit Grew. The handoff, Sebastian Levesque. He is met at the line in a big way by Jeff Paymont, number 44, linebacker, 3rd-year kid for Calgary. And they're going to have to key up for Levesque, it looks like, for the rest of the day. He's going to get some carries.
Yeah, it definitely does. But this is what Calgary needed to do, right? They stopped him, controlled him to a field goal. That's a positive for Calgary right now.
Definitely.
A good defensive stand right there. You never know. I know Milo's a great kicker, but you never know with the wind and things like that. May make it or may not.
So this is the tragedy for Calgary. You finally stop Laval, and out comes a kid who kicked more field goals during the regular season than anyone in CIS history, in Christopher Milo. 25 for 32, a 78% success rate. It is up, and it is good with the wind blowing in from the west. Milo tacks on 3 more. It's 32-zip. More live from Laval after this.
You're going to need a wheelman. My job is to get you in. Your job is to drive. You're in deep. Exactly where I want you to be.
Need for Speed Undercover. Rated T for teen. Now $1.99.
A capacity crowd of about 15,000 here at Pep Stadium, or as they call it around here, Stade Peps.
Your French is very good.
Thank you. It's been good all along. I can show off now. Early 2nd quarter, Dinos get the ball back after a Christopher Milo field goal made it 33-zip. Play action, Deke Jr. and Etienne Legaret. Even when you hold him, you can't stop this kid.
That's why he's the Metros nominee. He does a great job there. Laval only rushes 4 guys, and they get to the quarterback. Not a great start. This is what we talked about. They have 2 guys on, they hold him, and he gets through. That's why he's a top CFL prospect. So this young man will be playing football and making some money next year in the CFL.
I think some pro line will have a problem with that as well. He was literally being held as he made that sack. That's Superman stuff. Legaret, currently the 5th-ranked prospect in all Canadian University football. They hand it off to Matt Walter, and Walter goes nowhere on 2nd down. And that front seven for Laval are having a great time. Mathieu Perron making the tackle there.
Let me tell you how easy it is to play defense if you got a great front four. Because now you know those four guys can get pressure. They can make the tackle and run plays. Your DBs, linebackers, you can do tons of different schemes and things like that. They held that young man with two guys, not even one. He still got to the quarterback. Deke Jr. and experience has got to feel that pressure, move around the pocket, you know, and try to get rid of the football.
Back to receive it, Victor Tremblay, along with Fioli Godino. Aaron Ifield back out, punt standing at his own 10. Kick is up, and considering the wind, these kickers are doing a heck of a job today. Fioli Godino corrals it. He's at the 50. He is met, we think. Cuts left, still going. Loses a few yards on that ambitious maneuver. They take him down at midfield, and that is where Benoit Gros and the Laval offense will come out and try and improve on a 32-0 lead here in the 2008 Uteck Bowl. Those are the numbers for Gros, 7 of 8, which really should be no surprise whatsoever considering his 75% completion percentage in the regular season. I really don't think we can say that stat enough, Larry.
Yeah, definitely. What I'm surprised about is the big plays Laval has hit. You know, everybody talks about 75% when you're 75% passer, usually you're dinking and dunking and things like that. That's what Gros known for. They come out though and they throw the ball downfield today. I think they surprised Calgary.
Ball thrown 54. He looks left. He is off. Benoit Gros using his feet. 50, 45, 40. And he is finally met by Digio Dewole. After a big gain, Benoit Gros killed him with his arm and now doing it with his legs.
Yeah, you know, this is what I'm talking about, great coaching, right? Gros steps back, feels the pressure a little bit, doesn't see anything downfield, doesn't, you know what, look at that, even switches the ball to the left hand. That's great coaching. That's what the difference of Laval and some of the other programs across the country. You know, they have 5 full-time coaches. They have their own strength coach for their own football team in Canada. You rarely get that. You know, Glenn Constantine's done a great job assembling that staff.
Constantine has been very happy with the way Gros has matured. Hand off to Sebastian Levesque up the gut. That'll be a short 3-yard gain for the first-year man out of Montreal.
You know, they're committing. Mac Garone was in the backfield there again, misses the tackle. He's done that twice so far in this game. They're committing that halfback down into the box, basically. We're talking 8 men into the box to stop that run. That's when those big plays happen to Laval. A good coach told me one day, there's 4 big plays in a football game. You got to hit it. I think Laval's hit them all already.
Yes, they have Andrew Obrecht in that D-line for the Dinos doing everything in their power, but this is an extremely difficult task in very hostile conditions. 2nd and 6. Gros, man open over the middle. He hits him. Fioli Godino eludes 3 tacklers, and they mark him down just shy of the end zone. It looked for a moment like he was going to make his way in for one of the most spectacular catches of the season. They mark him at the 1, but Laval continue to move that ball.
What a great read, what a great throw. They go into 30 defense, 3D lineman throws it down the seam because they go into cover 2, which means they get onto the halves. The middle of the field is where it's open. They got to jam that receiver. Got to push them outside the linebacker, not inside, because that's where the help is. On the outside where those halfbacks are. We talk about cover 2, we talk about the 2 safeties. Safety goes half the field, the other halfback takes care of the other half. You got to protect the middle of the football field on cover 2.
Fioli Godino nearly 800 yards receiving. First in the CIS, looking into the end zone is Benoit Gros, but that is incomplete. Going to his meal ticket there, Fioli Godino passes, drops, it's up a 2nd and goal.
You know what? Even though he didn't throw a great football, that was just too easy. Way too easy, right? You got press coverage. Godino does just basically an in and out smash route. If it wasn't for Gros' poor throw, that's another touchdown.
Correction on the pass, the backup Cesar Hernandez Sanchez was in short yardage. He trying to throw for the touchdown. Everyone trying to get in on the act right now for Laval.
I actually think he actually audible to that because he gave him a little nod at the line of scrimmage.
You think he took the initiative on that, did you? Sanchez still in there, native of Mexico. Takes the hand. Rouge, a touchdown.
Tough for Calgary, right? You got to stop Benoit Gros, and he's in the game. Then you got Sanchez, who can run the ball like Tebow style, walks into the end zone right now. Calgary, you know what? The score is out of control right now. Blake needs to regroup these young men, get them back and focused into this football game.
Halftime cannot come soon enough for Blake Nill And Calgary, Christopher Milo, the PAT is G-O-O-D. 8:29 left in the half. The Laval Rouge are putting on a show live on the Score television network.
Crown Royal. Long live the noble spirit. You realize your view of the world is enhanced when you share perspectives with others over a Guinness. Guinness, it's ready for you.
Introducing Braun Series 7, the world's first shaver with pulsonic technology. Over 10,000 micropulses per minute give you incredibly smooth skin. The Series 7, one of Braun's perfectly smooth gifts.
The athletic 09 Mitsubishi Outlander with a rugged suspension to handle the toughest challenges on Earth. Drive at Earth, Mitsubishi Motors.
Introducing Braun Series 7, the world's first shaver with pulsonic technology. Over 10,000 micropulses per minute give you incredibly smooth skin. The Series 7, one of Braun's perfectly smooth gifts.
When you have a headache, trust Tylenol Rapid Release so you can get back to normal. Whatever your normal is. Tylenol Rapid Release gel caps dissolve quickly and relieve your pain fast. Tylenol Rapid Release. Get back to normal. Whatever your normal is.
Giving the GMC Sierra more power doesn't make it professional grade. Giving it 315 horsepower while making it the most fuel-efficient 4x4 full-size pickup does. The GMC Sierra. We gave it outstanding power. We made it more fuel-efficient. We examined everything and overlooked nothing. Then backed it with the best coverage in Canada. That's professional grade.
Yeah, man. The Dinos defense trying to figure something out. They can't even stop the backup quarterback right now. No slight to you though, Caesar. What is it like right now? I mean, did you guys expect a blowout like this?
Well, we had a hell of a start, so we've been working hard for this, like during this year. So we had sealed the game last year against St. Mary's, and we lost over there. So we had that in mind. So we're going to continue working and keep it up just for the next level to next week.
Benoit Gros just came over and gave you some props. What's it been like for you watching him complete 75% of his passes in CIS?
I mean, he's the king of this offense. You know, 75%. It's a new record. So I've been learning a lot for this guy. So it's pretty excellent, you know.
Thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Glenn, thank you very much. Gros may be the king, but all hail Caesar. He's the latest to get on the score. This is the kickoff that just happened, and the Calgary Dinos get filled on special teams, putting them in a precarious position deep in their own end with 8 and change to go in half number 1. Deke Jr., first and 10. Walter in the backfield, looks right, finds a man in the flat. It's Parker, Anthony Parker, the slot back. Good pickup. That's a 7-yard gain for Deke Jr. And it must be said, as a man is down for Laval, Deke Jr. has had himself a decent afternoon.
Yeah, they wanted to put him in good situations. What they did, they came out in what we call a 4-1 set. They come on a 4-1 set. What happens then is Laval needs to show their defense. They go backside man-to-man. They throw the bubble screen to one of those guys named Anthony Parker. We talked about, you know, one of their more exciting players. There it comes out. Parker comes downhill. There's the tackle right there.
Your side number 4, that's Samuel Lajoie. It looks like he took a knee in the sternum or in the stomach.
Yeah.
And it looks like he may just be winded as well, Larry. Could that be
it definitely does right now.
Samuel Lajoie, 4th-year kid out of St. Augustine, Quebec, 6 foot 188.
But the scary thing with Laval is they'll just replace him right now with another talented football player.
Yeah, Dominic Noel is the backup at left corner, and they think very highly of him. There you see members of that offense taking a break as they're still working on Lajoie. Let's take one more look at that tackle and focus left side of your screen, number 4 of Laval. Where does he take this knee? Right in the left side.
Yeah.
That'll smart on a day like this.
Yeah. Looks like he should be okay.
We're going to take a timeout as well. More live from Quebec City after this. University Rush, live on the Score.
Wilson, the only football on the field for all universities in Canada. Wilson is proud to support another great season of football leading up to the Vanier Cup. Locally made and locally played, your #1 choice in football. Wilson, the brand of the pros and all university play in Canada. Wilson, the official ball of the OUA.
Welcome back. It's a typical November Canadian afternoon. Great for football. Not great if you're Calgary. They are not having a fun afternoon at all. They are down by a lot as halftime approaches. 2nd down and 3 for Deke Jr. The handoff. Looking off tackle right side. Matt Walter with the carry, but he has met Kelly Hilaire. We call his name for the first time today. One of many Rouge in on that tackle. And it is going to be close to a first down for Calgary. They may have to bring out the sticks.
Now, we talked about whose big dogs will show up. They came out with a formation there where they had 4 guys in the backfield that ran behind them. Hilaire does a great job scraping through the hole. 3rd down, big play. What's Blake got to lose right now?
Calgary just took a time out to think about it. Blake Neal's thinking about it as well. All right, so let's think about it here, Larry. You're down 39-0. It's 3rd down. You're at your own 20. Do you go for it?
No, not 32 the way you're playing right now. You haven't showed that you can gain 2 yards running the football right now. I think you need to kick the ball. Your defense has been on the field a lot, but you got to take the odds right now, and hopefully your defense steps up. What I think Calgary needs to do is start formationing when I talk about Laval's defense. They came on that 1st down play. They came on what we call a 4-1 set. And they out-formationed them, gained positive yards on 1st down, made it 2nd and 2, right? Come back with that play action or something like that right now, because they're a good play action football team, and get that 1st down. This Laval defense, trying to stick it up there, evidently it's not working today.
They did think about going for it on 3rd and 2 at their own 20, but sanity has prevailed, as Larry suggested it might. So out comes kicker Aaron Ifield again to punt, standing at his own 5. Back to receive it, Victor Tremblay and Julian Fioli-Godino. Kick is up right in the hands of Godino. He's at the 50, up the middle. He cuts right. He's got a little bit of room if he can get the edge. This is another 10 yards at least. He got those 10 yards. And again, great field position for an offense that frankly doesn't need great field position.
I'm bewildered why they still kick to this young man right now. They talked about it before the game. They're going to do positional punts, get it away from Godino, who's the top returner. You know, he's 3 arm tackles away from breaking these things. They need to punt to the other guy, punt it out of bounds, do something, but you can't give Laval the ball on the 30-yard line and ask your defense to stop them. You're in Milo's field goal range right now. He was kicking 55-yarders into this win earlier.
Fioli-Godino. No rest for the wicked. That is his day today. Approaching 100 yards and a touchdown and some solid returns on special teams. Sebastian Levesque takes the handoff, but he is corralled in the backfield by Julian Simmerling, 3rd-year man out of West Vancouver. Nice play by that front 7 of Calgary.
The Sam linebacker, Julian, does a nice job right there, containing him and bringing down Levesque. He gets around that horn. Talk about that edge. That's what Blake Mills talked about. He's got to contain Levesque inside. Bring your boys, bring the rally troops inside where they can help you.
Sebastian Levesque in his first year did not dress for the first 6 games because, quite frankly, the coaches thought he was weak in a lot of areas, but he has busted out over the last 5 weeks. Quick hit over the middle, completed pass. Benoit Gru finds Matthew Picard, the swap back, playing in his hometown today at Quebec City like he normally does. That's good enough for a first down and an injury for the Dinos.
Here we go. We got what we call an under route, a dig over top and a post. Benoit Gru sees the under, it's covered. Here comes that dig, wide open, safety's deep. That's the read. That's why Benoit Gru throws at 75%. Here's that dig, here's that in right behind it. He sees that, goes over top. There's a 3-layer pass play basically.
The block from was very good.
We talked about that. You didn't play until week 6 because as a running back, you're going to find holes, but you need to protect your quarterback. That freshman's grown up in the last few weeks and is doing a hell of a job of pass blocking.
Injury on the field for the Calgary Dinos. Number 24, John Waldy, who was in on that tackle made by Matthew Picard. And he is being held to his feet.
That's a big blow if they don't get him because he's an all-conference player as well, too.
25 tackles this season. He's from Victoria. This is his final season. 2 picks, a sack, and one of the real leaders of that Calgary secondary.
Yeah, I'm talking to Calgary coaches before the game. The last 3 football games, they said they have had no injuries. The trainers haven't even been on the field once, so hopefully that young man can get back into the football game and help out his defense.
1st and 10 for Laval, looking to add to a rather impressive lead. The handoff up the middle to Guillaume Allard-Camius. And he is taken down after a gain of 6. Sebastian Levesque getting this play off. Some of the hats coming off down in that field they're hitting. That's Andrew Obrecht putting his cap back on.
Yeah, we talk about he's the smash of the offense, Camius. They run behind that right side of the line. Brodeur Jourdain and Bayargent. Probably Bayargent, Coach Constantine thinks is the best O-lineman prospect he's ever had here at Laval, that right side tackle. And you got Brodeur Jourdain, who's 309 and 335. Wouldn't you want to run against behind those guys?
I'd run behind anyone 335. And Benoit Drew is glad to have him out of the shotgun to hand off Guillaume Allard-Camius. Oh, he is stuck late after a few whistles had already gone, I may add. So may we see a chippy aspect of this game develop as we go? We'll have to wait and see. That is certainly a bit of a fire starter. A hit when a whistle is clearly blown. Check out the end of this play. Guillaume Allard-Camius. And by this point, the whistle had gone. Watch for the pop in late. Oh, that is a stick. That is a stick indeed. Brett Ferguson coming in at the end.
But they did stick him, but he still stayed positive. He gained positive yards and fell into the end zone.
Backs up after the penalty. 2nd down now for Laval. Brew under center, drops back. Some good pressure, but he hits over the middle. It's completed. Short, however, for the 1st down. Matthew Beauvais makes the catch. More laundry on the field. Another flag. And we'll see which way this one goes. But how about Matthew Beauvais having himself a day?
Yeah, it comes across on that crosser or a drag route, we call it. But I think we're going to get a horse collar call here or a face mask. Macaron's getting picked on a little bit right here. He's been chasing receivers all across the field. Drew actually had a wide open post route there behind it as well in that cover 0 scheme.
Well played, Mr. Justanis.
You don't want to give Laval any more chances.
This. Necessary roughness. Calgary. Face mask. Half the distance. First up.
Half the distance. They do make it a face mask to Matt Groen, the left half. 4th-year player out of Lethbridge. This Calgary defense has been asked a lot of questions today, and they haven't given him too many penalties, to be fair about it, but still, this is the end result. And the end result of this drive is another Laval touchdown. Guillaume Allard-Camius continues the route.
We talk about that great O-line, right? We talk about that right side, those 3 left guard center, Turgeon, Gagne, and Brodeur Jourdain, all conference, but they come back with Camius right beside that big offensive line on the right side, Powell in. He's the smash, we talk, Coach Constantine talks about him being the smash and Levesque being the dash, and what a 1-2 punch they have here at Laval.
Christopher Milo to make it 46-0. It's good. Milo's had a lot of work today on extra points. He's got that down pat. Interesting moment here. Blake Nill, knowing where his team stands, obviously. It's more about teaching now, isn't it, Larry? It's more about the experience and taking something away from it.
Talking to Coach Nill, right? He talked about where he wanted this program to go. Want to get him the playoffs this year, hopefully win a game and compete. They got to this point. He knows to be the best, you got to go play the best. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. Maybe not today, but he's got to play the best and learn from this. They're a young football team, and they can take this experience next year with them.
Always love a Ric Flair quote in the broadcast. To be the man, you've got to beat the man. And right now, the men are from Laval. Allard-Camius capping that last drive. Camius in the regular season had 5 touchdowns, the fourth-year man to go with 389 yards. And one of a number of running backs that head coach Glenn Constantine has liked to use in and out this season. Likes to keep him fresh in that backfield.
Yeah, definitely. We look at Sebastian Uteck, and he's third on our depth chart right now, and he runs for over 260 yards last week. He's doing a great job this week. Well, I'm more impressed with Uteck is his pass blocking. He's giving Rouge that time. Calgary's trying to bring the extra guys, bring those extra guys into the box, the halfback and the safety, but he's doing a great job of picking them up. So, you know, Blake Mill, I've known him for a long time. He's a great coach and he's a great motivator. So hopefully he can get this team, you know, some positive things. You know, you got to look at it. You got to break it down. Instead of scoring 7, you got to think, okay, we got to get our first down, things like that. That's what he needs to get these guys. Duke Jr., you know what? He's done a good job. Controlling the
kickoff being returned by Anthony Parker. Parker takes it to Calgary's own 40-yard line. And that's where Deke Jr. will come out and set up. Jr. has completed a few passes today. He's looking to do a little bit more to get the confidence up and running. Here's a look at the return.
That's a nice return by Parker. Right? He's an electrifying football player. Gets some good field position, though. This is a good start for Calgary. There's that positive, that one positive. Now Blake will teach those young men. There's the first positive. Let's build on that. They go in a 4-1 set. This is where they had success before. Brings that halfback over.
First down for Calgary, out in the flat. Looking for his receiver, can't find him. And it was Matt Walter, the intended target, just a little bit ahead of him. That'll be a 2nd and 10 for the Dinos.
Yeah, I like the idea of coming out in that 4-1 set, swing it out to Matt Walter. The one thing Calgary hasn't done yet is they haven't taken a shot downfield, right? Those DBs are sitting downhill, coming downhill, and Calgary needs to go downfield once or twice here just to loosen them up. Hopefully they get enough protection. I think that's the other issue that they have to worry about with that front 4.
I think at this point of the game, that's a legitimate point. Larry, why not? Take a shot downfield, 2nd and 10. They still keep it rather conservative. It's Walter in the flat, but he was just swarmed immediately. Maxime Berube, among others, in on that stop. Steve Landry also there. But they aren't keeping it conservative. They're sticking to that game plan, Larry.
Yeah, they are. But what Laval does great is rally to the football and make tackles. Look at that. 4 guys who are rallying the football and make the tackle. You know, they don't miss tackles. You know, I don't call them boring type of defense or things like that. They're a base type of defense. They do the base very, very well. They tackle. They play their schemes very well. They don't make mistakes. Their DBs come downhill and prevent the big gains.
Standing back at his own 30, Aaron Ifield. It's a fake. Downfield at the 40. Excellent play call. You wanted something a little different. Jordan Flegel on the fake. And considering the scoreline the way it is, why not?
Love the call by Blake Mill. There's that positive, right? Good kick return there. Couple passes. Come with the fake punt. Great job. A direct snap to him. Here comes on that trap. Big hole down the middle. Great football play.
Jordan Flegel with the carry. And that will put the ball inside Laval territory for the first time today. Or one of the first few times today. It seems like it's the first time today. Deke Jr., as soon as he turned around, the Rouge were waiting for him. He fumbled and recovered, but the offensive line could not stand up to the Calgary Dinos, to the Laval Rouge at that point, and they got in there quick on Deke.
I definitely did. They were going to try to slip flanker screen fake, coming out there and had a guy downfield, but Laval actually comes with 4 guys, gets pressure. They didn't fool anybody either. That slip screen wouldn't have worked because they're 2 guys deep covering the slip screen receiver.
Jean-Philippe Gilbert, 4th-year kid at St. Victor de Beauce. He had 2.5 sacks in the season. The problem is when they get that half step, it seems this defensive front, Larry, forget it. Yeah, you're going to have to hold him or let him go.
That was the concern of Blake Mill, right? He has a big O-line with 3 first-year kids.
Okay. They're adding 5 seconds to the clock. Some slight scoreboard configurations happening here late in quarter number 2. The Dinos at this point hoping they can make some scoreboard changes as well. They have added some time on the clock. Referee's asking for 3 more seconds, currently 2:53. He wants 2:56 and will not be happy.
So he gets 3 minutes.
So we get 3 minutes, and now he wants to work it down. I believe, to 256. The drama here in Quebec City. We have 256. Everybody's happy. Steve Jr. saying, you gotta be kidding me. We got some momentum going. We gotta stop for this. He might not want the time, actually. Second down and a lot. Duke Jr. corralled. Etienne Legare. They're just pinning their ears back and they're coming.
Yeah, they definitely are. You know, Calgary goes in a 4-1 set. Deke's got to see that. He's got man-to-man coverage to the boundary. Legare does a great job. They actually bring 5 guys there, do a stunt, gets inside. That's why that young man's going to be playing football for a long time in the CFL.
We can almost guarantee you will hear Etienne Legare's name called in round 1 of next year's Canadian Football League draft. He is big time. 6'4", 265, 6.5 sacks in the Quebec Conference this season. That's second in the league. Back comes out Aaron Ifield for the punt. It's short, it wobbles, sits there. Victor Tremblay, that'll be no yards, picks it up at the 25. And he is taken down by Jeff Paymont, working special teams today. We are at around the 3-minute warning. It's all Laval here in Quebec City. More live on The Score after this.
Buddy, my family loves Tiger, especially my daughter.
I love you.
And with all that attention, he gets a lot of hair all over the house.
Tiger!
That's why I got the Infinity Pet Light vacuum from Canadian Tire.
Come out wherever you are.
It's not like my old vacuum. It never loses suction. And it only weighs about 15 pounds, so it goes wherever Tiger goes.
Tiger, where are you?
And these days, that's everywhere my daughter isn't.
The Infinity Pet Light Vacuum by Shark, only at Canadian Tire.
At last, my love has come along.
Power and cleanliness, together at last. The all-new TDI Clean Diesel from Volkswagen. We've done the unthinkable.
Are over.
Focus on functionality.
The athletic 09 Mitsubishi Outlander with unbeatable traction to handle the toughest challenges on Earth. Drive at Earth, Mitsubishi Motors.
Leafs and Canucks in Vancouver. Canucks scored 2 second-period goals on just 3 shots. In fact, they were outshot in this game 30-15, but still go on to win it by a final of 4-2.
The Laval Rouge are dominating on both sides of the ball. On the defensive end, it's this kid, Etienne Legare, who was bringing it, and he's brought it all season.
Yeah, I definitely has. I don't think he's a kid, though. I think he's a man playing among boys right now, as you can see this game against Concordia. What I really like about him, he has all the tools, right? Speed rush, bull rush, does everything on defense. And the other great thing he does is he can actually play the run well at the point of attack.
This is live action now. Handoff up the middle. Maxime Ballon, the third running back on the depth chart, is up the gut as we work our way down to halftime. Andrew Obricht in that D-line giving up a first down on that. And they are all getting touches currently for the Laval Rouge.
Yeah, with unnecessary roughness there on Calgary, gives them another 15 yards. This team's good, too good to give penalties and yardage away to them.
And to Calgary's credit, the score has not gotten to where it was because of penalties and turnovers. Laval have earned everything they've got.
Oh yeah, Laval's athletes are unbelievable. The speed, the size of them. I think Calgary's just, you know, I think they're still in the Western time zone right now.
Run stop there after a 5-yard gain. You mentioned the time zone, and head coach Blake Neal of Calgary said that all week he got his kids up early to get them on the clock. They were watching film by about 7:30 Mountain Time, and he wanted them to be ready for this game today.
Yeah, looking at that nice play by the Calgary defense. But you're right, you wake them up early, but I think there's a difference of watching film at 7 a.m. and playing against the top football team in the country with 15,000 fans screaming at you. There's a big difference. You fly across the country as well, too, because you're waking up in your own bed, not in a different hotel.
2nd down and 5. Grew out of the shotgun, looking left. Man over the middle. He is stuck. Quick hit. Fioli Godino with the reception. But this is a tough young man. Great hands. Keeps it. 1st down, Laval.
Yeah, another nice route there, right? Godino comes underneath. Basically jams off that receiver. Great catch on that stick and still gains 5 yards after. But Grew does a nice job. Sees the drag, wasn't there. Comes to the 2nd receiver at a different level and sticks it in there.
Canada West Defensive Player of the Year linebacker Andrea Bonaventura with that late stick. He can hit. You normally feel it when he does, but not before they got the 1st down. Handoff up the middle again. Maxime Ballon. 3rd on the depth chart for running backs. Up the middle, picks up a few yards. Continuing to wind the clock down. 1:30 to go in half number 1 of the 2008 Uteck Bowl.
Yeah, I think what's surprising, Calgary too. We talked about the Laval offensive line, the great running backs they have. Really, they've done a pretty good job against the running back. With the pass game, Benoit Rouge just picked them apart. The big plays, you know, they had those big plays. That first play was a great call by the offense coordinator Laval. Set the tone of the football game.
Allard Camus in the backfield. He gets the handoff on a quick draw, but the defense waiting for him there. Josh McDonald, defensive end, among the tacklers.
Yeah, Josh does a good job, but they bring what they call a run blitz. They bring James Green downhill. He'll come in number 1 here, make the initial contact, and Calgary does a nice job right there of shutting them down on 1st down.
Andrew Obricht also in on the tackle. We do have a penalty on the play, however.
Looks like it's going to be offside on Calgary on James Green, number 1.
Rouge, offside. Calgary, 5-yard penalty. You get 2nd down.
Well, we now know why he got there so quick.
He's fast, but not that fast.
Off comes Josh McDonald. 5th man out of Little Pond PEI. Patrick Kalin and company getting ready for a 2nd and about 3. Cameos in the backfield, play action, rolling left. Benoit Grew looking for the intended target, and he found him. The Dinos secondary are irate. They think that was not at all a catch, but they give it to him. Another 1st down for Laval, but the Dinos are a little cheesed.
That was a nice play there. Nice right by Godino again. Great football. Comes back to the football. That's the coaching we talk about. Great receivers come back to the football. Grew does a nice job. We have cover 0. They're bringing everybody. He gets outside of the pocket, aborts what we call the run. The fake, gets outside, puts it down lower. Only his guy can get the football.
Brett Ferguson may have had a point. It looked on the last replay like the nose of the football may have touched the ground, but I digress. They give him the catch, and the drive continues. There's Guillaume Allard Camus.
Needless to say, though, that the offside, they had him stop on that 2nd down. They get an offside now, and now they get the ball. You know, they're just too good to give them 2nd chances, right? I don't even know if Laval's even had a penalty today.
They've been very disciplined, and Benoit Grew has been at the heart of that disciplined play, much like they've been all season. Remember, this is a Laval team that have played 10 games this year and have won 10 games, and they were number 1 in the polls front to back for the 3rd time in 4 years. This is a team that knows how to get it done, and they have done it in a very impressive way over the first 2 quarters. 2nd down and 7, the handoff to Camus. Big stick near side. Andrea Bonaventura getting a little bit angry. You could hear that one clean. Camus taken down. That'll set up 3rd down. Victory of sorts, a moral victory for the Calgary defense as the kicking team comes out for Laval.
Yeah, Blake Neal can use that going in halftime, another coaching point, right? He needs to regroup the troops. Look at it as, you know what, we're down 46-0 right now, maybe 49. Regroup, get some positives in that 2nd half, score some points, move the ball.
As we see Christopher Milo get ready to kick this to make it 49-0 potentially, what specifically do you tell these kids at halftime?
I've never been down 49-0, so it's very difficult to say.
Hands down.
You know what, their heads are going to be down and things like that. He's going to have to teach them to compete. You know what, you're here, you got 30 more minutes, you need to compete, you know, and grow up basically right now in 30 minutes. because next year they return a lot of these young men back. So this is a building block for them, you know. And Deke Jr., what I like to see out of Calgary's offense is throw the ball downfield more. I think you need to open up that secondary to Laval, even just take some shots, you know, good or bad, you just need to open it up.
Christopher Milo hitting another field goal today. Again, he hit 25 in the regular season. First time ever a kicker has done that in CIS football, to up it to 49-0. It is now 15.6 seconds to go on the clock. We are on the verge of halftime. Deke Jr. 1st and 10, own 35. In the hands of Steve Landry. And his halftime just got a little more disappointing. He should have had a pick there.
Deke Jr. got lucky there. Right? He had an overcrossing right behind number 35 there, and Deke tried squeezing it in there. But you know, I like what Calgary did here, though. They rolled him out, get him read half the field, right? But linebacker does a nice job, 35, scraping, filling that zone. That's what Laval's taught. You see that? They're not covering what I call cover grass. They're looking up receivers, looking for people. He sees that, stops on a dime, looks back, the ball's thrown to him.
Nathan Colhorn was the intended target on the last play. Again, they go over the middle, and the pass is caught by Anthony Woodson. Woodson has enough for a first down. A slight pick-me-up for the Calgary Dinos as we sit 3.1 seconds away from halftime.
Yeah, this is the guy they got to get the ball. You know, he's 18 years old, he's electrifying, he's more of a Reggie Bush type. Give him the ball in open space. That's his first catch of the game. We need to somehow figure out, Calgary needs to figure out how to get Woodson, Walter, and Parker the ball in open space, even if it's flanker screens or screens of some sort. Get these playmakers the football, because good things happen when those guys get the rock.
Benoit Gru has a lot to smile about after a first half to remember. What you're seeing here is the top offense in CIS football at its peak. 49 first half points.
You know what's
that is
interesting?
special.
What's interesting is we saw Benoit Gru's father-in-law before the game. He was concerned because Benoit does not like to throw the football in the rain. Ball's a little wet, he's itching, wears gloves, hasn't affected him. You know, I really think that first play of the game, what a great play call, set the tone, you know. Everybody expects a run or a short pass by Gru, and he comes out with a wheel route.
And lucky for everyone involved, the rain factor as we've gone on this afternoon has diminished slightly. It's been more windy than raining, luckily for both quarterbacks in this game. 3.1 to go in the half. 1st and 10 Dinos. Deke Jr. takes a snap, looks left, has a bit of time, not a lot. He's taken down, ball is on the turf, and it's live, and it's a lateral. Matthew Perron, he keeps going. They were going for more with Laval. A fumble and a recovery and a decent return for the Laval D. That really tells the story of what has transpired here in these first two quarters at Stade Peps.
That's unbelievable, right? Number 97. Matthew Bourdon-Couchet comes in. It's unbelievable how great this defense is.
All right, let's send it downstairs where Glenn Sheeler is standing by with Dinos head coach Blake Neal.
Well, Blake, I don't think anyone expected 49-0. Are they playing that well, or is your team playing that bad?
Well, you know, it's just a combination of things. We talked about when we came out about not getting in a hole, like deep in the end zone. We couldn't get field position the whole half. Their experience, our youth, they're just a quality team, and we're just having troubles dealing with it.
How much more of it now is just taking this experience in and learning from it?
Well, that's what it is right now. You know, what can you do? You know, like we thought we'd be in a better position. I can't say I'm not. I'm just, you know, sort of a little dumbfounded by it. I was hoping we'd be a little bit more competitive. We're not. We just got to go regroup and come out second half, because I want to see us recover from something like this.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care. Bye.
Laval gave up just over 8 points a game this season. Somehow Calgary has to find a way to score 50. After the break, we'll set you up for the Mitchell Bowl. I'm hearing there's snow in London. We'll get the full story next.
Comes the versatility. Some tools don't cut it. But now there's a tool that cuts almost anything just like that. The Benchmark Anvil Cut. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. The Anvil cuts industrial steel blades snap through rubber, plastic pipe, vinyl tile, and much more. It's also a great utility knife. The Benchmark Anvil Cut. It's a cut above.
Homeowners, helping homeowners.
Only at Home Hardware.
The athletic 09 Mitsubishi Outlander with unbeatable traction to handle the toughest challenges on Earth. Drive it Earth. Mitsubishi Motors.
Follow me, young and free, with a ring-tailed cat and a dog and a flea.
Shaun White Snowboarding. In stores November 16th, rated E10 to T.
This is carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gas that's threatening our planet. And this is the university where Canada comes to learn about it. Our researchers are advising industries and governments about the best ways to capture and store this stuff. And now, we're working on ways to pull it right out of the air. I'm David Keith, and this is the University of Calgary. Come, learn, be inspired.
What's that?
A Rocket Mobile Internet stick from Rogers. Lets you take the internet with you.
Prove it.
See? I can download music here. Bank online here. Check email here. Watch streaming video here. Even here. Nice.
Get the Rocket Mobile Internet Stick on Canada's fastest mobile network. Act now and get the stick for free.
The athletic 09 Mitsubishi Outlander with a rugged suspension to handle the toughest challenges on Earth. Drive it Earth. Mitsubishi Motors.
Introducing Braun Series 7. The world's first shaver with pulsonic technology. Its oscillating head with over 10,000 micropulses per minute gives you incredibly smooth skin. The Series 7, one of Braun's perfectly smooth gifts.
Cars today have many safety features. Add another feature that can help prevent you from using them. GE Nighthawk headlamps are 30% brighter than standard GE halogens. Drive with confidence.
A fairly elaborate tailgate going on in Quebec City today. A lot of barbecue, a lot of smoked meat. Laval's currently smoking Calgary at the half. It is 49-0 in the 2008 Uteck Bowl. Sid Zixero, Larry Justanis, Glenn Sheeler trying to stay warm on the field. Quick comment, Larry, on the first half. And for most of it, it's not as if the Dinos turned the ball over. It's not as if they had a lot of penalties. Laval are just absolutely cooking.
Yeah, we talked about that one key of the game, getting off to a fast start for Calgary, and unfortunately they didn't, right? That first play of the game set the tone for Laval. Big plays by Laval's offense, throwing the ball downfield. That's what we need Calgary to do, throw the ball downfield right now. Take it as a learning experience. You saw Blake Nill dumbfounded, right? Didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. He's going to teach these kids right now, and like I talked about earlier, they need to compete right now. They're down 49. Yeah, you know what? You're probably not going to move on next week to the Vanier Cup, but you got these guys are first or second year kids that can move on next year and take something from this game and move on to the Can West next year.
Laval do have a foot, 2 feet in next week's final, and they will take on the winner of the Mitchell Bowl between St. Mary's and the Western Mustangs. We're going to have that game live on The Score coming up later on this afternoon with more from apparently snowy London. Here are the men who will call the game, Tim McAuliffe and Mike Morreale.
Weather may play a factor here in London, Ontario for the Mitchell Bowl. Blizzard-like conditions last night. The snow continued to fall this morning, but right now we are clear at TD Waterhouse Stadium alongside Mike Morreale, Tim McAuliffe. Now, I'm no meteorologist, but we cannot guarantee that the snow will hold off throughout the day. Two contrasting styles meet here in London in the Mitchell Bowl. Mike, St. Mary's brings their top-rated rushing attack to face a Western squad that boasts the nation's leading passer in Mike Falls.
Yeah, really. Mike Falls played fantastic all year long for the Western Mustangs, brings a 9-1 record into the Mitchell Bowl today, led the nation in passing, and led that offense behind center as a veteran leader, and that was the most important thing to lead at this point.
Falls threw for 2,596 yards, not only has him on top of the nation's passing list, but it is the 7th best single-season total in CIS history. Mustang Senior gives Greg Marshall a gunslinger and veteran leadership. The same can't be said about St. Mary's. The Huskies lost their starting quarterback exactly a year ago. Last year's Heck Crichton Award winner as the nation's top player, Eric Clavage, tore his ACL in last season's national semifinal. His return this year lasted just 7 passes. So after going through no less than 5 quarterbacks this season, the Huskies have settled, Mike, on freshman quarterback Jack Creighton.
Yeah, Jack Creighton really, I mean, if you're comparing quarterbacks, statistically, Faulds hasn't beat outright. But he had a great game last week against St. FX to lead him here as a freshman. He's really finding his feet, getting ready to play here today.
The injury to Glavich, of course, has forced St. Mary's to diversify, and the O-line and running backs have really stepped up for Coach Steve Samara.
Yeah, Samara's blessed to have an O-line that leads the nation in rushing, blocking for those guys with Jones, Blair, Leger, 60 yards better than the next nearest competitor.
The two offenses have got a lot of ink in the media. Not here. We're going to give a little ink to the defenses. They are both top 6 in the nation and boast a pair of guys that can make a real big difference on the D-line. With more on them, here's DJ Bennett. DJ?
Well, Timmy, fast, fearsome, athletic, agile. Both defensive ends in this game were all-stars in their respective conferences, and both can change the game at any time. Let's talk first about Vaughn Martin, who's playing for the home team, the Western Mustangs, a mammoth man. He came on campus 2 years ago, benching 225 12 times. A year in the weight room, guess what? 29 times he put it up. He moves offensive linemen, but he's agile. He can run you down as well. We could see him playing inside today. Let's go to the other side of the ball, Carl McCartney. I spoke to his high school coach, Courtney Shrimpton, who played in the CIS at McGill. He said, listen, this guy ran a 4.3 coming out of high school. He just runs down angles. You cannot block this guy. He doesn't stay blocked. Both of these guys were recruited by Michigan State. How nice is it now that we've got some Canadian weather to see some of Canada's best athletes playing in such a big game?
Yeah, we get the luxury of seeing those two go to work, and those two give the luxury to 2 veteran-laden secondaries to go ball hawking, and that's exactly what they do. St. Mary's placed 3 DBs in the top 5 of their conference in interceptions, including Jeff Zielinski, whose 5 picks were second best in the country. But Mike Western can counter with a ball hawk of their own and Matt Carapella.
Oh, Carapella has done it throughout the year, making interceptions, but in the playoffs alone, career interception number 11 last week. You make those big playoff interceptions, that bodes well for the team going to the game today.
Well, there is one thing that is clear, and that is that Coach Steve Samara will need his freshman quarterback to keep it out of the hands of Matt Carapella if they hope to make their school's 10th appearance in the Vanier Cup and thus win the Mitchell Bowl. That is next on the score, but still 30 minutes to play at Pep, so let's go back to Quebec City.
Should be a lot of fun later this afternoon. Thanks, gentlemen, for that. We're going to take a break. More live from Quebec City coming up after this University Rush, live on the score.
The first half, all Laval, that's an understatement. 49-0. The Rouge have never lost a bowl game at home, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen today. Joined now by the head coach of the Rouge, Glenn Constantine. Let's go back to the first play of the game. Play action, deep down the field, set the tone, get the fans into it. How much was that planned days ago? Were you going to go with that play regardless of where you started?
Yeah, we wanted to test our man coverage right away and see what they had, and obviously it's a tough place to play football, and if you're not focused, you're going to have a surprise, and obviously it's paid off for us.
49-0. Is it time now to think about resting the starters, prevent some maybe possible injuries for the Vanier?
There's no doubt we're going to pull some guys early, and we want to make sure that we have no letdowns in intensity and make sure that everybody has fun.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. And the starters are being pulled as of right now. Benoit Grew out. Backup quarterback Cesar Hernandez Sanchez in. The handoff right up the gut. And that isn't going anywhere. Maxime Ballon, who is seeing a lot more of the carries since late in the first half, gets the carry there. Let us take a look at these impressive first half numbers put up by the Rouge.
Now we talked about whose big dogs would show up, and look at the rushing yards, 105 to 38. Passing yards, all big plays by Laval and Benoit Grew, 249 to 56. Time possession, the first downs sticks out in my mind too, 20 first downs to 3, and that the result is 49-0 right now.
So Benoit Grew smartly is going to watch this one like the rest of his. Handoff up the middle. Maxime Ballon, maximum effort. He's running out of gas. He's angled out deep inside Dino territory. Casey Fraser eventually brought him down, but it's Maxime Ballon. You see the depth of the Laval rushing attack.
Yeah, they run what we call inside zone play there, behind that right center. Gagne and Bergeron, the 2 all-conference candidates, and you know what? that's what I mean. They talk about we take one guy in, another guy comes. There's so much talent on this football team. I think Laval's making a statement across the country today that they are the best football team, and they're very annoyed of last year's loss at St. Mary's.
They were on the verge of a Vanier Cup a year ago, but didn't get to the final destination. Handoff up the middle. The fullbacks now in the fray. Samuel Fournier, third-year man out of La Collée, Quebec. 2 touchdowns on the season. Fournier and Ballard and others are going to get a lot of touches from here on out. And actually, it's a pretty good stage for these kids as well.
Yeah, definitely young guys. They can show what they can do. I like what Coach Constantine is doing. He's playing it smart, right? Take your starters out. Benoit Groux got you here. No need to play him anymore. Get Hernandez, Sanchez some time in the game, too, in a playoff atmosphere. He played last year in this Uteck Bowl as well, too. So he has some good experience as well.
That is a man with reason to smile, no question about it. 2nd and 6 for the Rouge Aor, right out the gut after halftime. They continue to assert themselves. And off to Maxime Ballard, and he is taken down. Andrea Bonaventura in on the tackle.
Andrea Bonaventura does a nice job of scraping from his middle linebacker spot. Makes a nice tackle on Ballard here. Keeps them, you see, whenever they rally the troops or make the running backs come back inside, good things happen to Calgary. They stop them. When they get that outside zone or outside edge running Laval, as we say, they get big yardage. So that's what they're looking at the beginning of the game. Blake Mill was talking about it. They want to prevent that big play on that outside edge on that zone play.
Bonaventura, team-high 37 tackles this season. It's a field goal try for Christopher Milo, and it is good. So you can tack on 3 more. We have cracked the 50 barrier. The Rouge Aor continue to put points on the board. More live from Quebec City after this. University Rush on the score.
We call it a crossover. Whatever you call it, you won't call it boring. The new Flex, only from Ford.
A capacity crowd here at Stade Peps in Quebec City are watching history. Here are some of the records that Laval's putting up today.
What's interesting about that first one is that St. Mary's scored. Coach Blake Nill talked to us before the game. Simon Fraser had to play basically at 7 a.m. They didn't stand a chance, just like these poor Calgary kids. The time change made a difference, believe it.
Some of those numbers we really we need some time to take in. We're going to take another look at them. The first number, most points in a bowl game in CIS history, 60 by St. Mary's over SFU. We are at 52 with basically a half of football to go. 52 points scored, 52-point differential by Laval today. This is a historic performance we're watching from the Rouge Aor, and there's a lot of time to build on it with some backups who are also looking to make a point.
That's right, and I think, Coach Constantine talked about it. They want to finish the job. Last year, they didn't finish a job down in Halifax. They want to finish the job right now. See Calgary comes up, try to get a nice run, but Jean-Philippe Guibert that makes another nice tackle. You are a great defense when you can only bring 4 guys. You have a dominant front 4 like these Laval defensive players have.
Jean-Philippe Gilbert, 4th year to Saint-Victor de Bois. That sets up a 2nd and long. They hand it off, going left. It's Casey Prince. And the little Prince is taken down for a 3-yard gain. That'll set up another 2nd and long. And the punt team will come out for Lake Neal's Dinos one more time.
Initially, when I saw that play, I'm thinking, Casey Prince can have a lot of yards. But once again, Laval, basics. They played football very well. No one cheats. Look at everybody's rallying to the football. There's 5 or 6 guys over there making the tackle. Looked like a long gain. They only gained 3 yards. Not even 3 yards. They gained a yard. Now they have to punt again.
We've seen a lot of Aaron Ifield today, to the chagrin of the Dinos. Back to receive it is Victor Tremblay. He is alone in the receiving position. They ran a fake earlier, a rather successful one to the Dinos. Why not with the scoreline the way it is? We'll play this one a little more safer. Decent kick from Ifield. Tremblay takes it around his own 20. He'll gain 5. And the Laval Rouge will set up shop at their own 26 with a commanding lead in the 2008 Uteck Bowl. More live University Rush on the Score in moments.
Wilson, the only football on the field for all universities in Canada. Wilson is proud to support another great season of football leading up to the Vanier Cup. Locally made and locally played, your #1 choice in football. Wilson, the brand of the pros and all university play in Canada. Wilson, the official ball of the OUA.
Welcome back. The Rouge are about to punch their ticket to next week's Vanier Cup. Question is, who will they face? We will answer that beginning at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, live right here on The Score, when St. Mary's take on Western in the Mitchell Bowl. DJ Bennett, Mike Morielli, and lead play-by-play man, the voice of CIS football in this country, Tim McAuliffe, have the call. That is coming up live right here on The Score television network. And word is there is snow in London, so the visuals should be very appealing, aside from the game itself, which should be very good. Rouge quick hit out. Cesar Hernandez-Sanchez. You know, the tackle is Matt Groen, and he looks a little dinged up after that.
Yeah, fake that zone option pass and then come outside, throw that slip screen to the flanker. That's what they faked in the first half, in the first play of the football game, and threw it deep, and now they come back and throw it. It's good to get Sanchez some throwing in, you know, instead of just letting him run the football through these 2 quarters, because you never know what can happen. You may need this young man next week.
Matthew LeBlanc was the recipient of that quick hit that picked up Ford. 2nd and 6 for Hernandez-Sanchez. Back, a lot of time over the middle. He finds his target, but just shy of the first down. Matthew Picard, the slot back. He'll make the reception, but he is met by Chase Moore, linebacker for the Dinos, and that'll bring out the punt team once again. The Laval Rouge as the backups try and make a point here on national television.
Nice play by Calgary, but the one point you said there, a lot of time. You know, they rushed only 4 guys. Sanchez, Hernandez had a lot of time there to throw the ball downfield, fix his guy. Nice play by Calgary, you know, 2 and out. I think it's their first 2 and out of the game. There's that positive. We talked about Blake Mill, talking about that coaching points for next year. You know, you got to keep competing right now. You're down. It's a great learning experience for these Dinos.
KC Prince back to return the punt. Christopher Milo at his own 20. Low line drive, got to him quickly. Eludes the first man, gets away from the second. He's up the middle, he's got a hole. If he cuts left, he didn't cut left, he cut right. And there was 3 guys waiting for him. So the Dinos will set up shop inside Rouge or territory for one of the few times today.
Yeah, the return's all set up because the punt didn't have any hang time. Milo basically line drive punt into the wind. Nice return by KC Prince right here. Like you said, he went right when he should have gone left, but you know what? Things haven't gone Calgary's way today, but that's a nice positive play on the return there by Calgary.
Easy call to make up here. A lot more difficult on the ground against the #1 team in all of Canada. There's KC Prince in the slot. Deke Jr. rolling right. Hits his man, finds the intended target. It is caught Nathan Colehorn with the reception just shy of the Laval 40 as they pull off a good first down play this afternoon. They'll set up a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, Calgary and Deke Jr. have had success with this. We call it rollout or blue protection. We have slide protection. Makes them where you don't have to feel easier for them, you know, but they've had success. Deke Jr.'s played a pretty good football game. He has. You know, he hasn't made the mistakes that they're concerned about.
The Rouge on D. Discussing on offense, discussing things that are D or discussing things on the field. 2nd down and 3. They give it to Matt Walter, and in what is really a microcosm of his day, he doesn't get much.
Your boy, the Etienne Laguerre, makes a nice tackle. We talked about his pass rushing skills. I told you he can play the point of attack. You can't run the ball against this young man. Going back to that huddle on the offense, you saw that coach. He was actually in Laval's offensive space. I think he's concerned that they went 2 and out there. He wants to keep the level of competition high because they know they got to play next week in a big football game.
Very high standards this afternoon being shown by the Laval Rouge. It's 3rd down. Calgary says the heck with it. We are going for it. 3rd and short. Junior under center. The pitch to Walter, right side. He falls over the line, doing a great job against the tough defensive front. He'll make it by a yard. First down, Calgary Dinos.
Yeah, they tried this kind of play, similar package in the first half, and they didn't get it. They lined 3 other guys in the backfield. This time they go toss sweep, get Matt Walter to the outside to get that first down. Another positive for Calgary. You're seeing it. They're coming out, they're competing right now in this second half. This is what they needed to do in the first half.
Matt Walter rushed for over 900 yards this season, but not much today. Etienne Legaret and that front for the Laval Rouge are doing a fantastic job. They head off again. Big stick. But Walter keeps going and picks up a nice little gain. That's 5. And that'll set up another manageable second down, especially the way that Deke Jr. has been asked to throw the ball today and has executed throwing the ball today. The dinks and dunks he's been really good at.
Yeah, we talk about, you know, Laval's second unit, and this isn't Laval's second unit, it's Laval's first unit. Defense still in the ball game. Calgary's offense is now moving the football, which is good to see.
They marked it at a 2nd and 6 just shy of the Laval 30. Looking right, it's Deke Jr. finds the open Anthony Woodson, who really is a running back, but they do enjoy splitting him out in the slot occasionally. That's what they did there. And at the naked eye, it looks like they have gotten the first down.
And we talk about Woodson getting the ball in space. What happens here is they have cut coverage, that corner comes up. Next time Deke sees that, he's got to throw that ball over top that flyer at the number 25. Set that corner up. But we talked about getting Woodson Parker the football. That's what they need to do and get him in space. Good things happen when these guys get the football.
Anthony Woodson, in terms of pass catching, not much this season. Rushing a little less as well, with Walter stealing the show. But they really like this young man, and he's out there a lot on offense. Very important piece of what they do. This drive, the best so far of the day for Calgary. A first down inside the Laval 30. They're going for it deep. Man open. He stretches out, but comes up just a little shy. Number 82, Nathan Cohorn, doing everything he could to pull it in, but the pass a little too strong from Deke Jr.
They come out with that short yardage package again with those 3 guys in the backfield. They got Cohorn going down the middle of the field, Parker go down the sideline, just out of his reach. But I like the play call, going downfield on first down. You got nothing to lose right now. You're down by 52 points. Let Deke learn from this football game. Let him learn how to throw the football downfield against a great Laval defense.
Cohorn from Red Cliff, Alberta, 2 touchdowns a season, 365. Junior back, the line doing a much better job right now. Casey Prince over the middle. It's a first down. Big stick by Jonathan Laliberté, but not before they pick up enough to move the sticks once more, and the Dinos are inside the 10 of Laval.
Yeah, Deke Jr. Look at he sets his feet, drills that ball in the hole there. Great play call there, that 4-1 set where they have 4 receivers to the wide side of the field, 1 to the boundary, had to clear out with the post, but Deke does a nice job as a mechanic, steps in that throw, probably his best football throw of the game.
From a morale perspective, if they would score a touchdown here internally, it would be worth 21 points. That's how bad the day has gone for Calgary. But they can get a reason to smile if they can punch this in against one of the best defenses in the country. In fact, the best defense. Man open, touchdown Calgary Dinos. Anthony Woodson cut out to the left, and no one stuck with him.
Well, they come with that short yardage package again. We talk about Woodson. He was a 2nd-team All-Canadian. Here he is lined up in the backfield. They go play action off the counter. Woodson comes outside wide open. This young man was a 2nd-team All-Canadian last year. Got hurt, gave Walter the chance to play this year. So they have some talent on this football team. A great throw, a great drive by Deke Jr. You have nothing to lose right now. Let this young man learn how to play the quarterback position.
Woodson found the end zone just once as a runner during the season, but since using him out wide, he's been much more productive. Aaron Ifield comes out to put it through for the first time today. The Calgary Dinos are on the board. After an impressive drive, they've cut it to 52-7. More live from Quebec after this.
Need multiple shipping companies to do one job. As VP Operations, I say we make things easier and use FedEx for everything.
As Senior VP Operations, I agree.
As Executive Senior VP Operations, I concur. Wilfred?
You gotta stay lean and mean. FedEx it is.
Here, here. Bravo, sir.
That's why he's the Chief Deputy Executive Senior VP Operations, Northern Hemisphere.
Focus on functionality.
Taco Bell's Fiesta Platter is a whole lot of food. A big meal with 2 chicken or steak tacos, a mound of nachos with salsa, zesty red rice and hearty beans, all on one big platter. For a whole lot of food, think outside the bun.
Want a deal every day of the year? Try the Pizza Mia pizzas from Pizza Hut. Just $6 each every day when you order 3 or more one-topping pizzas. $6 never tasted so good. Order today. Prices may vary.
Giants doing battle with the Ravens this afternoon from New York, and this one has been all Brandon Jacobs. He's got a pair of rushing touchdowns. It's 20-0 New York in the second.
Welcome back to the Uteck Bowl, live on The Score. Well, after a rough first half, D Junior, you guys get on the board now. What does that do for morale?
Just playing for pride now, so basically we're not going out without a fight, that's for sure. And yeah, basically that's it.
What did you guys learn in the first half, and what do you take into maybe next season?
It's not next season yet. We're going to play the end of this game here and hit him in the mouth as many times as possible. I'd like to say I love you to all my family back home. I'll try my heart out there. Let's go.
Thanks, Deke.
Thank you very much, Glenn. A lot of people in Regina and Calgary looking on as Deke Jr., who has really held his own today. He's played pretty well under difficult circumstances, saying hello to people back home. And the positives continue for Calgary. They scored another point.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to Deke, though, you know, Laval wanted to stop the run and make Deke beat them, but what happened was Laval just got out so far in front that Deke's actually played a pretty good football game for his first, basically, semifinal.
History may not look kindly at the final score, but Deke Jr. has held his own today without question. Hernandez Sanchez using his legs. That's a 9-yard gain. And the backup QB, fourth-year man, originally from Mexico, close to a first down.
Deji Adewale, he's kicking himself for that one. He comes down number 3 right here on the zone option play, but still has enough athletic ability to come outside of Sanchez Hernandez, but then misses him, but still tries to chase him down. That's why he'll be a top 10 prospect in the CFL next year as well, too.
And it does say something to the depth that we've been talking about a bit. When a backup QB for this team, as Sanchez is, can do that to a kid who's going to go in the top 10 likely this year, that does say something about depth.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, Sanchez got some good playing time last year with Ben Drew getting hurt. And that made this Laval team even better, believe it or not, having a great capable backup just in case things happen to Ben Drew. Scary thing is Ben Drew has another year left.
It is scary. Very scary. Sanchez 6'1", 210, fourth year. Through for 2 touchdown passes this season. They are digging in their heels on that front for Calgary. It's a second and short. Direct handoff by Sanchez. He didn't waste any time. Went left. He's had some success doing that today and picks himself up a first down.
Yeah, nice job. You know, usually people just gonna jump over the top, but he keeps it, scrapes across outside and gains a good 5 or 6 yards. Another face mask penalty there. Another 15 yards on top of that for Laval's offense.
Calgary, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Now maybe some fatigue setting in for a Calgary Dino defense that has been out there an awful lot today under stressful circumstances. Laval's been asking a lot of questions of that defense, and they continue to. Now the penalties are starting to add up a bit. It's 1st and 10 at the 45 of Calgary. The handoff to Maxime Bellon. Bellon is cracked at the 35, but not before. He picks up a first down. James Green coming up and laying some wood.
Yeah, we talk about the big dogs. We see Bayarjan come out and pull in front here for Maxime Bellon. A great block by 605, 335-pound offensive tackle. The right tackle pulling there.
My mistake. That was Sebastian Levesque back into the game with the handoff. My apologies for that. Levesque. Be interesting to see how many carries he gets, because he's one of those guys who has instilled himself as a regular. But at this point of the game, should Levesque be out there a whole lot? That's a debate you can have. He was out there on the last carry. He's not out there now. It's back to Maxime Ballard, was off tackle right side. Andrea Bonaventura was one of the first guys to get to him. That'll be about a 7-yard gain. That'll set up a 2nd and 3.
Seems like when Laval wants to run the football. Look at that. You get that right tackle sealing it again by Arjan. Whenever they want to run to that right side of the football, by Jordan and by Arjan, they can do whatever they want. There's another 7-yard gain. Whoever wins that next game at 3:30 will have their hands full with this offensive line, guaranteed.
Definitely. This is one of the most impressive groups. And head coach Glenn Constantine said these guys may be one of the best fronts he's ever had offensively, and that is saying something. They had a few in Laval. Sanchez back, finds intended target. It's Fioli Godino. I haven't seen him in a while. He's been fairly busy early. Back in the fray right there, Matt Crone, the left half, getting him out of bounds.
Let's talk about great mechanics. Sanchez gets the ball, throws it outside shoulder. Godino comes back to the football. That's just good coaching again, right? Throws the ball on the outside of the defender who actually just slipped. Because even if he's tight coverage, that's a great quarterback play by Sanchez, the backup.
7 catches, 111 yards. Most of that, like many of the numbers put up by Laval today, did take place in half number 1. A timeout's been called by Sanchez. He wanted to talk over something with head coach Glenn Constantine. So he's going to head over for a discussion. We're going to head out for a quick break. Stick around. Much more live from Quebec City. After this, you're watching University Rush live on The Score. Welcome back. This is the story of Laval's season. 10 wins over 10 games, and there's some rather lopsided scores on there, including week 2, which I know cuts right to the core of everything, Larry DeStanis.
Yeah, definitely. But you look at Laval, they average 42 points a game, only give 7.5 up. 42 points a football game they have.
On defense, they've only allowed 67 yards rushing per game, and that number's gone way down today. A quick hit outside, completion by Sanchez. And that might be good enough for first down. Matthew LeBlanc, the 5th-year man out of St. Bruno, Quebec, makes the reception.
We talk about that depth, right? They just roll the guys in. Sanchez pitch and catch again, 3-step drop, throws a nice comeback route, comes back to the football, makes a nice gain there for a first down. Going back to that defense of Laval, though, regular season, only 5 touchdowns scored all year against that defense. 5 all year.
Which is why you know that last major by the Calgary Dinos stung on that sideline, regardless of what the score
did. Looking at defensive coaches after, they're annoyed by that. They wanted that shutout, you know. They didn't want to give up that touchdown. That's why that number 1 unit's still out there.
Excellent point, Larry. They're going to have another conversation here as Sanchez comes to the sideline. Glenn Constantine watching on. You know, last year his team went to St. Mary's. A lot of people thought they were good enough to win the Vanier Cup, and they got beat 24-2 at St. Mary's. And Constantine said he didn't recognize the team that went out there that day. Until this day, he has no explanation as to why they performed so poorly in that national semi, that bowl last season. Well, this year, it's safe to say that Constantine and company have atoned for that loss.
Yeah, I think they expect, this program expects to be in the Vanier Cup every year. And last year was a disappointing season, you know, losing that game out in Halifax 24-2, and they created a motto after that game, finish the job, and they've carried that over in their strength conditioning program in the offseason. You know, they traveled down to Florida for training camp as well, too, and they've kept that going. You know, you plug in guys, you got Sanchez in right now, it's the same thing, they're just moving the football.
First down, Sanchez over the middle, single coverage, there's been a collision. They say it's incidental contact, incomplete pass. And Matthew Picard thought that Casey Fraser, one of the dime in the secondary got to him intentionally. It did look unintentional to me, Larry.
Unintentional, but what makes me laugh about this is, one, the fans haven't left the stadium yet. Yeah, it could be a little bit of interference. Fans haven't left. They're booing. Laval players are all over the field thinking it's interference. They want more. That's what amazes me about these guys. They really, I think they want to set the record today of the most points scored. You can feel it in the stadium.
Yeah, you do feel that the number has circulated. Somebody started talking. The handoff to Maxime Ballard. End zone, another major by the Laval Rouge. What a performance by the nation's top team. This is something special today.
Sid, we talked about it. They want to run the football going to the right side of that offensive line. Luc Boudreau-Jardin and Pascal Bayer-Argent, you know, they average about 320 pounds inside zone. Look at that hole they create. He walks into the end zone. He doesn't get touched until he gets into the end zone.
Mike Boudreau, Bayer-Argent, the right side of that offensive line, doing what they're expected to do here in Laval. Christopher Milo, low line drive. Milo's been pretty busy today too. That right leg is warm. It is 59-8. Seriously, it's 59-8. Laval are rolling. More live from Quebec after this.
What you're about to see will change the way you look at weather. Presenting the revolutionary Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Many traditional wipers have 6 pressure points that can create uneven pressure and cause streaking. Rain-X Latitude blades contour to hug the windshield for greater visibility and virtually no streaking. So it's like weather never happened. Get ultimate visibility with Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Rain-X, available at Walmart.
The home of university sport in Canada is the CIS. From Victoria to St. John's, Canadian inter-university sport is the place to compete in some of the biggest and most televised tournaments in the country. Earn a degree while training in the finest facilities across Canada. Compete in national championships for men and women's basketball, volleyball, hockey, football, and more. The CIS, the experience of a lifetime.
Welcome back to the Uteck Bowl, joined now by Maxime Ballard, who just scored another touchdown, 59-8. Now, what is it about the Rouge that just keeps their foot on the gas pedal all times?
Yeah, it's important for us to... we are a very good team, and we do what we can do. We are a good team. We run that shit. We pass the ball, we run the ball, and we do that all the time.
You guys are 1 point away from tying the all-time record for most points scored in the Uteck Bowl. Is that something you guys care about and want to break?
Personally, no. I won this game, and that's it.
Thanks, Maxime.
Thanks.
Sid?
Glenn, thank you very much. And as that interview was being conducted, they were playing Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline here at Stade Pepsi, and indeed, good times never felt so good for the Laval Rouge.
Definitely, you know, they want to get out of this game. We talked about injury-free. The depth on this football team is Maxime Ballard. You know, the guy just scored the last touchdown. Does a great job finding the hole. It's just one player after another. Coach Constantine does a great job in the off-season coaching this young man up. And that's where they're probably one of the top teams, if not in the nation.
They were #1 in the polls. Laval were front to back this season. 3rd time in 4 years that's happened. Over the middle, Deke Jr. had the open receiver. Casey Prince made a great effort, but just couldn't commit finally to the grab, but it was a nice toss by Junior.
Yeah, Deke's throwing the ball with some good authority and some good zipper. Nice play action here. What we call cross buckle, slot fake reverse. Throws the ball in that dig route for a nice zip. Good effort there by Casey Prince. Hell of a throw in between two men, you know, but the difference is Laval receivers are making the catches like that. The Calgary guys are coming up with those big plays.
A 2nd and 10 for Junior. Oh, this is trouble. That was never going to end well. Never going to end well. Samuel Laval, one of the backups for the Laval D. You're starting to see a few of those come in, and he was just swarmed on this, Larry.
Yeah, he was, and you know what? We go back to that 4-man rush, but number 20 does a nice job of coming in. On the safety blitz, St. Omar does a nice job of bringing Deke Jr. up into the, make him step up into the rush, and another sack against Deke Jr. You know, it's...
A quick reminder before we continue, Vanier Cup next Saturday, live on the Score from Hamilton. The Rouge will be there. Either St. Mary's or Western will join them. The Mitchell Bowl is coming up next, live on the Score from London, Ontario. We continue here. Fioli Godino, one hops it, and he is tripped up at the Laval 45-yard line, and out comes the offense, looking for more points on what is turning out to be a historic day in bowl history here in CIS football.
And I'm surprised right now on this punt return that Fioli Godino's still out there. You know, Calgary does a nice job. Fortunately, they kick it to him again, like we were saying, don't kick this young man, but they make a nice tackle. But what's more amazing is Laval, they're up, what, 59-8 right now, 56 seconds left, and they're bringing the free safety, and a free safety blitz on 2nd down on Calgary. Do you still think they want to play defense or what?
They are committed. We'll give them that. Cesar Hernandez-Sanchez, backup quarterback. Benoit Gru did not play in this game past halftime after a fantastic first half. Maxime Ballon, he's playing well.
Once again, they get out to the outside zone reach play again, right on that right side of that line, but side on those big hogs, basically the big dogs we call them. But you see the speed of Maxime Ballon right now. Rafiki does a nice job, almost has him there, but look at that speed, gets around that corner on number 42 and gains another 8 yards. They have that right side of the offensive line. When they need something, they can go to it any time.
After Ballon found the end zone on that last series, that made it 6 different Rouge-Or who have found the end zone today. It is about depth. It is about being relentless. That is what this program is all about, and they are showing it on a national stage today. The handoff, Samuel Fournier up the gut on 2nd down. Looks like it'll be a little bit short. Brings up 3rd down for the Rouge-Or late in the 3rd.
It's a great point, Sid, because you know you're going to see St. Mary's or Western, whoever comes out of that game. Here's here Fournier coming down the right side again. You see the tendencies to run the right side of the game, the offensive line, but we talk about St. Mary's or Western. They're going to look at the film. They're going to be awestruck, obviously, by that offense. But who do you stop? 6 guys touch the football and score a touchdown today, and that's tough to do on defense. When you got, you can take 1 or 2 guys away in a game, but when you have 6 different guys that can carry the rock and score a touchdown, we don't even know. They might throw another guy in soon too, a 3rd string guy.
3rd string might be just as good for all we know. Looks like we're about to find out. Clock is at 0 here in quarter 3. This will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. It'll be a punt. Christopher Milo, one of the few times today he has, standing at his own 40.
Don't hold him, White. Let go.
Kick is up into a very tricky win. Casey Prince back. It was clean, no flag on the play for no yards, and he's taken down shy of his own 20-yard line. 3 quarters is in the books, and the Rouge-Or are on their way to next week's Vanier Cup. We'll wrap it all up next, live on the Score.
I call him Blackberry.
Bizarre name.
Well, I asked for a Blackberry Bold. You know, 3G, super fast downloading, browsing.
Oh, so your parents got you a dog?
Yeah, he doesn't browse or stream, but who doesn't browse or stream?
Oh, he's so cute.
He'd be cuter in 3G, but
I think he just 3G'd on the rug.
This season, go bold. The world's fastest BlackBerry. Just one of the hottest new BlackBerry smartphones, only at Rogers.
Trees swaying in the
the summer breeze, showing off their silver leaves as we walked by.
See the difference our range of top-performing wiper blades can make.
Are you tired of fumbling to adjust locking pliers? Get new Benchmark Auto-Lock self-adjusting pliers, only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Auto-Lock pliers adjust automatically to any size and lock on. And now there are Benchmark Auto-Lock groove pliers, designed for one-handed use and made for professionals. Pick up your self-adjusting Benchmark Auto-Lock pliers today from just $14.97.
Homeowners, helping homeowners.
Only at Home Hardware.
The athletic 09 Mitsubishi Outlander with unbeatable traction to handle the toughest challenges on Earth. Drive at Earth, Mitsubishi Motors.
Everton taking on Middlesbrough. This game seen live on the Score. 65th minute, Yakubu evens the game up with a goal against his former team. Off his back, 1-1 is the final.
Welcome back to Quebec City. The road to the Vanier Cup is getting shorter. It happens next Saturday. If you're in the Hamilton area, you want tickets, 905-547-2418, or visit the website, Vanier Cup. Next Saturday, you can see it also live on the Score. There is Matt Walter showing some of that style that made him the Canada West nominee for the Heck Crichton. Without question, the best spurt of his afternoon.
Yeah, what a terrific run. You know, toss sweep to the right. Ripped shirt there a little bit, but he must have broken about 6 or 7 tackles there, rumbling and stumbling through that O-line right there. 1, 2, whoop, 3 nice little feet. You know, this guy got the chance to start because Woodson was hurt, and you know, they have 2 great running backs here, Calgary, they can build on for the next few years, basically.
First down and 10. Deep Jr. looking for the home run. Deep left, looking for Cohorn, and he did not corral it. However, there is a flag on the play. And the Calgary Dinos are going to move the sticks based on what appears to be pass interference. Glenn Constantine can't believe it.
Yeah, but we talked about this all first half. Get the ball downfield. Good things happen, right? There's an example, you know, play action pass again. Cohorn almost makes a great catch.
That's
the difference. Locate the football.
15-yard penalty. First down.
Olivier Turcotte-Le Tourneau, the right corner.
Yeah, he just doesn't locate the football, doesn't turn back, and you're immediately going to get called pass interference.
Yeah, Jonathan Laliberté wasn't impressed at all with that. Like we alluded to earlier, a lot of pride on this Laval defensive side of the ball. Quick hit out, Casey Prince. Excuse me, that was Cohorn again, who was in on the previous pass interference. That looks to be a pickup of about 8. They'll set up a 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Coach Neal talked about it. His best players are his receivers and running backs. Got to get them the football. Good things are happening when you get these guys the football. What's happened though is they stretch that defense, throwing a few balls deep. So now they can hit these quick hitters and get positive yards because Laval is just sitting on things we call squatting on all the patterns in the first half.
No defense was stingier in terms of giving up touchdowns than this Laval D. And they want to keep that going today. Walter with the carry that didn't do much. He went to the left side. Vincent Lehoux, 4th-year gentleman out of Sainte-Marie, Quebec, makes the tackle.
Yeah, does a nice job. You know what? We talk about Laval's defense. We talk about the pride they have. They don't want any more yardage or points scored against these guys. They want to probably try to get that record and keep the score basically to Calgary to 8 points for this game.
You do have some drama on both sides. Sorry, Larry. You do have some drama both sides of the ball. The D do not want to give up any more touchdowns. They have a reputation to keep up. And we're a point away from tying the bowl record for points on offense for Laval. So as far as those 2 units are concerned, the scoreline may be out of touch, but they're playing for a lot.
Oh, they definitely are. Another nice play by Deke Jr. there. He sat in the pocket, threw a nice strike to Cohorn there for another first down. You know, comes out on that play action pass. You see, they've run the ball, and now the play action pass is getting set up. Does a nice job towards that strike corner, because a nice job coming back to the football. Another first down for Calgary. There is that pride. You know, only 7.5 points given by Laval per game all year.
Pitch left side. It's Walter. He tried to hit the corner, but Jonathan Laliberté got there first. And they'll set up a second down as the Dinos, it's probably too little too late. Actually, it is too little too late, but a good rhythm to end this game.
Yeah, they look like a totally different football team from the first half, don't they? It seems like, you know, Coach Constantine talked about Laval going to St. Mary's last year, didn't know what football team went out there. I think that's what Blake Mill probably thought in the first half is, this isn't my Calgary Dino football team. This is more what they look like in the second half. Play action pass, get Walter going. Deke Jr. having a good football game.
Matt Walter with the carry. Walter up the middle. Matthew Parent brings him down from behind, and that will set up another third down for the Calgary Dinos. Let's take a look at the third quarter numbers brought to you by Mitsubishi.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, the first half, but you see there's some positives to what Calgary's done, but you see that balanced attack by Laval, right? 205 yards rushing, 272 yards passing. The big dogs that through the game, they've dominated the football game, especially that right side of the offensive line for Laval.
Plenty to cheer about today for the Rouge. They're doing a lot of cheering. Still a huge crowd taking this one in, giving their Rouge a nice send-off as they head to Hamilton for next Saturday's Vanier Cup. Up steps Matthew Parent on third down. They gave it to Walters, no dice. And the D's step up, preventing another touchdown.
We talk about that pride factor again. There is 3rd and 1, basically come with that short yardage package where they have 4 men in the backfield, but Matthew Parent does a nice job of getting to the outside and making a tackle right here, sticking his nose in there, but 49 creates some pressure up there to create Walter. You know, another great drive by Calgary there. Unfortunately, they just couldn't finish it.
Parent as jacked as you can be. This defensive unit, they have a lot of pride in what they do. They're going to come out and measure this one, and they did not get it. But possession will change. We're going to take a break and come back. More Uteck ball after this. Live on the Score Television Network.